Hello and welcome back to Board Crazy. Today the two of us are going to review Exchange. Alright, hello everybody. My name is Dee. I am joined today again by...
Hello, I am Will, and I'm still confused. What are we doing?
We are reviewing Exchange, Will.
Oh, okay.
The second of two bicycle games that have been sent to us.
Yes, light strategy board games.
Games that have been sent to us by Bicycle, the company, not games without cycling. In case that was confusing. So a couple of weeks ago we reviewed the Alpha.
Yes.
And today we are reviewing Exchange. Like the Alpha, this is a game for 3 to 6 players, so unfortunately we're not able to play it on the channel right now for reasons. But we have played it off camera, and now we're going to talk about it, give you our thoughts. But first, before we actually, give our opinions, we need to explain how it works, since people could not have seen us playing it.
Yeah, we don't have a gameplay video of it yet.
Yeah.
So we'll have to run down the rules now. So why don't we start?
So the Exchange in the name comes, of course, from the New York Stock Exchange in this instance.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see the Wall Street
it says
there.
Wall Street on the cover of the rule book.
Yes, exactly. So you're trying to play the stock market, basically, in this game. Each player is a founder, basically a rich business person, and each player is in control of 3 different securities. You can trade in banks, bonds, and insurance, and each one has a different value that they start with at the start of the game, which you set your board to, and you also get a certain amount of cash.
So that's the setup. Now the objective of the game, D, and I'll read it right from the rule book because I couldn't put it any better, is the player who corners the market and has the highest net worth after 5 rounds will win the game and the title of best trader on the exchange.
Yes.
Yes. So you have your ledger board here, keeping track of your 3 securities, which Dee already kind of mentioned about your starting values. And throughout the game, the values of those securities will be going up on down on this board.
Yeah.
And so the goal at the end of the game is to have the most money plus value of your securities, which is determined by the board.
Yeah, at the start of the game, each security is at $50 per share.
Yeah.
And here's the game works like this. So each round, it's pretty straightforward. There's a few phases. First, each player has these cards and these little like pockets.
Yes.
So in the first phase of each round, each player will be choosing one of the 3 securities that they personally want to trade in. So either their banks, insurance, or bonds, and they will put that in their little hole here, and then when everyone's chosen, they're revealed simultaneously.
They all reveal at once. I chose insurance.
So I chose banks, because that's what I randomly chose.
Okay.
And then this information will be known to all other players.
So we all know what we're going to be trading in.
Yes. And then after that is done, players then go to the phase 2, buy or sell, which on each card you get 9 of these, numbered 1 through 9. You can choose if you want to buy or sell the security you chose in phase 1 and how many shares you want to buy or sell.
Yes.
So you could, again, same thing, you put them in their little pockets here, and then everyone will reveal.
I chose buy.
Yeah, I also chose. It doesn't really matter what we chose. But the thing is, it will only show buy or sell. It will not show how many you're buying or selling.
So that's the value in the buy, but in this is what you see.
Yeah.
Fun.
Exactly. So it's a little,
So people only know if you intend to buy or sell, but not how much.
Yes, and then the third phase,
which is where the game gets really exciting.
Yes, this is the influence phase. You get the 3 cards again for each of the securities, but each of these has a +1 on one side and a -1 on the other side. So you'll be choosing one. And whatever, you go here, and then same thing as always, play the cards, whatever happens. So I did banks -1.
I chose insurance -1.
Yeah.
The idea being that if you're going to buy, you would want the price to go down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So once everyone's done that, then the Market Forces card gets flipped over for the
And there's
round.
a deck of these.
Yes.
These are like...
So there's a number of different actions that can happen. They can move.
Securities can go up and down.
Yeah, there can be things
it could be like banks +2, so this would go up 2. It could be all securities down 1.
Yeah.
You never know what you're going to get in there. It is like the special action deck that so many games have, where it's like just an event is going to happen that you don't know about.
Yeah, so then you basically move the pyramids as the market forces card and the cards from phase three dictate, and so these three will end up where they are for that round, and then everyone will reveal exactly how much they're buying or selling, and whatever the prices are at the time, that's how much they buy or sell for.
And then you would, if you were buying, you take money, your cash that you have, and put it back into the general supply.
Exactly.
So if you're selling, you collect money.
If I were buying 3 banks like I am here, the bank's currently at $40 a share, I would pay $120, and I would move up my banks 3 spots.
Accordingly, yes.
Yeah. That's pretty much the gist of it. There's only a couple twists. In the second round and go through the 5th round, there's also the lobbyist here. So the person at the beginning of each round who has the most liquid cash takes the lobbyist and it's 3 cards, which basically allows them to get an extra bit of influence during phase 3. So just the same as every other player's phase 3 card, but you get to choose 1 extra card.
Which could be insanely beneficial if, for say, you wanted to get a stock's value all the way up or down, depending if you're buying or selling. Mm-hmm. You could potentially have that double plus or double negative that can push it right to the point of the brink.
Yeah.
Speaking of the brink.
Yeah, there's something important that we haven't mentioned yet is that it is the bubble, which is to say that the bubble for each security can pop if it gets low or high enough. So in a 5 or 6 player game, the limit is 10 or 90 at the edge of the board here. 3 or 4 player games, it's 20 or 80. Basically, if a security were to be increased in value beyond the edge of your maximum, it goes all the way down to the other side.
Yes. So if it was at 90, if it were to go higher,
so
it would follow the arrow all the way back down to 10.
Yeah.
Which could be insanely beneficial for you if you're trying to sell that share.
Buy
that share.
Yeah.
But if you were trying to sabotage someone who's looking to sell it, you could also do that. So there's, sometimes you might be more interested in sabotaging your opponent than helping yourself.
Yeah, the opposite is true. If something is at 10 and it's supposed to go down, instead it goes all the way back up to 90, which can completely turn the tables. And there is, now obviously, this is hugely important. And the market forces cards can really, throw a wrench into your plans.
Yes.
So there's an ability in this game called Market Intelligence,
Yeah.
which allows anyone at any time on their turn to pay $50 just to the bank and look at the market forces card. The market forces card for that turn, so you can see what's coming up and you can then plan ahead somewhat as far as if you want to be buying or selling, how you want to influence stuff in phase 3, and so on. And it continues like that all 5 rounds. Then there's the market close after the 5th round, which is basically just one last opportunity to influence the markets. Everyone basically takes 1 extra phase 3 turn. Without a lobbyist. Yeah, and then after that, players will calculate their scores. Like Will said at the beginning, it's just the amount of money you have on hand plus the value of each of your shares.
Yeah, and that last market round can be very important because, let's say you had, a ton of insurance.
Yeah.
You could have a chance to maybe get it up to the point where you want it. Or conversely, someone can knock it all the way down. And the reason that matters is, let's say that we were in that situation and I have 12 insurance. Well, instead of 12 times 90 is,
1,080, I believe.
Yeah, 12 times 10, 120.
Yeah.
So you can see how much of a swing that would be for your final cash amount.
Yeah.
So that's the game.
That's the game. It's pretty easy to learn, pretty straightforward.
Yep.
But I mean, so let's talk about our opinions on the game now.
Indeed. Let's get right to it.
I will. I would say if you're not too concerned about winning or losing, this game is a blast.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Like, if you're really into board games where you can control your own fate, and you have almost like 100% agency over whether or not you win or lose, you will hate this game. Because because there's just so much going on. Every additional player above the player count of 3, it gets that much more chaotic in the sense that, that's just more cards coming out there during phase 3, moving the values of these, securities up and down. it becomes that much harder to control where your security is going to land.
Yeah, plus I would say even beyond just the potential chaos, I think the game does have some problems in general, like beyond, just not being able to control everything.
Yeah.
I think there might be some design issues, but even still, I think this game is consistently entertaining from start to finish.
It almost plays like a party game.
It does, yeah.
Because even though there's it's a light strategy game and you do put a good amount of thought into it, there's a lot of laughing and a lot of like for me, because I'm not someone who's always upset. It depends on the kind of game. But for a game like this, I didn't come into it like ultra serious about winning and stuff. So I was just laughing every time I either got screwed over or I screwed someone else over or just. There are so many moments in this game every time that we've played where it's just like, I don't know, you just end up with a grin.
Yeah.
And sure, when if someone really messes with you, it can be really disappointing, especially if you're like close to victory. But still, I mean, if you understand what this game is trying to do, like you're going to enjoy it, win or lose. At least
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's kind of that party game vibe, which I thought was interesting. Like comparing it to the alpha, it's almost like the opposite of that game. Where I feel like that game you get more strategy and a better game when you get more players involved. I think here it gets kind of sillier, but also that kind of makes it more fun.
Yeah.
So like with 3 or 4, it's actually probably a slightly more strategic game.
Yes.
But it's I think it's just kind of. It's going to work at each level, I think, because of that. You're going to get a different experience.
Yeah.
But yeah. It's a bit of a crapshoot, which I guess is kind of faithful to its theme. I mean, playing the stocks sort of is that.
It can feel like that.
Yeah.
So I kind of actually appreciate that this game sort of mimics the actual experience of trading stocks and bonds.
And it's good because, like, you can, on each turn, pretty much always make a very safe play if you want to. But it's way more fun to go for the Hail Mary, like push your luck, see if you can get it at the very edge of the bubble without it bursting, and either then revel in your success or laugh at your own miserable failures. That is kind of like, I think, the best way to play this game.
I agree, yeah. And I also like how each phase of the game offers its own little challenge in regard to strategy.
Yeah.
Like phase 1, it's like, it can be kind of easy depending on how your board is. Like if you have a lot of one commodity and too few of the others, depending on where the security values are, it can be a no-brainer. Like if the cash value is high for the one you have a lot of, you're going to sell.
Yeah.
And, or like if you have not many but the cash value is low, you're going to buy. But I enjoy like thinking like, which one should I pick? And then also thinking like, what are they going to pick? And like if they're also seeming motivated to get a stock's value up, then I want to go in on that stock too. Like you almost like want to play the market.
You can sort of piggyback off of the choices that other players make. And it's good because like at the beginning of the game, actually, I felt like when we first started playing it, the 3 phases thing sort of felt almost like ill-defined. Like I wasn't entirely sure how it all worked. It didn't make a lot of sense to me. Like the whole like just revealing slowly each step at it. Like I didn't click until we actually like played a full round. Then it was like, oh, this makes complete sense. Each step can just influence slightly what you do in the next step and so on.
Yep.
It's really good. Like, yeah. Like, I mean, you could even, like, you do a thing where, like, you and another player might be doing the exact same thing, buying or selling a certain security. But you could, like, just kind of still mess with them by, like, just like buying or selling just like one.
Yeah.
And assuming they're going to go big and then just try to move the market the other direction. So you're going to take a little bit of a hit, but they're going to take a huge hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it opens up all these different scenarios that I think are really fun.
Yeah, that's where phase 2 presents its own challenges. Like, how much do I buy? How much do I sell? Like you said, sometimes you can intentionally make it seem like you're going to buy big when in truth you're just going to, burst the bubble and get that price up, or like... Yeah, I would say phase 2 is maybe the least interesting phase, but it also it may be the most strategic though, because you need to be aware of how much money you have, and if that market does, if the bubble does burst, can you afford the amount that you're buying? Because if you can't, that's when this game can be really punishing.
Yeah, because you have to pay with your other
you have to pay with your securities
half price.
At half price, yeah.
To give them away basically.
In other words, like if you owe 80 extra that you don't have in actual cash. Well, you would have to make that up, like, let's say...
$160 worth of...
Like, yeah, let's say, like, green was at 80. You would have to give up 2 bonds or 2 of the green to pay that back at $40. You pay half. You end up coming out. It can be very crippling.
Yeah.
And then we move on to phase 3.
Phase 3 is good.
It's my favorite part.
Definitely. I mean, you can go pretty straightforward with phase 3 and just try to help yourself move your own relevant security up or down one. But it's also, you have this opportunity to mess with other people instead, and that's always fun, because you might be in a situation where you don't want to move your own because it's either in a perilous situation or you assume someone else is going to be messing with it anyway, so you can just kind of, it actually might be helping you in the long run. It's the difference between the bubble bursting and the bubble just reaching the edge and working out for you, and then you can use that opportunity to move their stock one way or the other, and I just think that's...
But then before that happens, though, always one of these comes out.
Yeah.
And sometimes the market forces, that's why there's that ability you can pay $50 to check what it is. So then you kind of have almost inside trading information.
Yes.
Which is, again, fits in with the theme.
Yep.
A lot of people don't like random event decks like this. I really like it in this game.
No, it's fun.
Because I like that you can pay to see the next card.
I have an issue with the market forces, though. I do like I like that they exist. I think, thematically they're good.
Yeah.
I don't love the $50 flat rate to check it each round. I feel like, especially with lower player counts, this game can have some issues with like a runaway leader issue.
Yeah, if you don't have enough money.
Yeah. I mean, if someone, if someone can get a lot of money, then it's almost no penalty for them just to check it out every round, because the information you're gleaning from this is super useful. That can completely change what you do. So I like it, and I do like paying for it. I just don't like the $50 thing. I think I would have preferred a different system, maybe where the price increases each time you use it.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah, I think that would have been a good way to do it, also,
Yeah. Similar to the Alpha, which is the other game by Bicycle that we've reviewed, this game has this system where the idea being that if you're the wealthiest, you have the most power.
Yeah.
You're likely going to have the lobbyist, you're going to be able to check the market forces every round. You have this advantage over everyone else who can't play with their money like that.
Yeah.
Just like in the Alpha, if you're the Alpha Wolf and you're the most powerful, you get the best stuff. Maybe that makes sense thematically, but you're right. It can lead to issues where people have a hard time keeping up. However, I would say it's less of an issue in this game because your fate doesn't come down to a die roll. Your fate comes down to what everybody else does, and you can make a comeback.
Definitely. You can come back, and I think it's definitely going to be less of an issue when you play with 5 or 6 players, when there's more competition. Same thing with the lobbyist. It's very similar. The lobbyist always goes to the player who has the most money at the start of the round. So the person with the most money has more power.
Yeah, only in the game though. For most of the rounds, the person who has the most cash, like the most liquid cash, is the most powerful person.
Yeah.
But they may not be the person who wins.
At the end of the game, you do obviously need to worry about your stocks.
Yeah.
Or your securities. No question about it. But still, yeah.
There's nothing quite like seeing someone who's got a ton of cash and thinking they got this, and then somebody was really smart about how they manage their banks, bonds, and insurance, and they end up having a much bigger amount to draw, a much bigger cash amount at the end of the game.
Yeah, but still, these things are things that can help players with this board. So there is a rich gets richer thing here.
Yes,
sure.
I know. I'm just saying
it's not
that
as bad
way
as in the
more
alpha, but
manageable.
It's still present. So it is. I think it's a little issue. But otherwise, there's not a whole lot to analyze with this game. It's not a very complicated game.
No.
It's just, playing it.
Yeah, the rules are simple.
Yeah.
And then it just comes down to how do you and your friends choose to play and manipulate the game. And that's kind of awesome. I
do kind of wish maybe that your founder had more to do beyond the start of the game.
Like a special ability or something.
Something, yeah. Once you get there's your numbers at the start, they're basic. You can just discard them. You don't really need them again. But
I think there is a purity in how simple or basic the rule set is.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Components?
I think the components they're not incredible. I think they're good. Maybe not as impressive as the Alpha when it comes to artwork and all that. But I sort of like the minimalist style. I don't think the game needs any more. It helps keep price down. And these are actually surprisingly, like, these don't move. You can't bump them and move them.
No, yeah, it is good.
Which I liked. Now, obviously, these will wear in. Like, the more you use it, though. But, like...
Yeah.
I just, like, all in all, there was not a single component in this game that I was disappointed.
No, there are actually a surprising, like, there's a lot of stuff in the box.
Yeah.
Like setting up and everything. Like, for how simple the game is, you actually have a lot to worry about. And I like the pouches are good.
Mm-hmm.
I like how the cards kind of fit even like nicely into them, so they only reveal the sort of information you need them to. I think those are good. Shall we score this, Will?
Yep. Final thoughts, D.
Well, I mean, my thoughts are pretty clear, I think. Again, like I said at the opening, if you don't take this game too seriously, I think it's extremely fun. I think this would a game that works with any player count you can play it at. The only issue might be table space, honestly, when you get up to like 6. But
yeah,
other than that, I think it's really good. It has obviously some issues that are kind of maybe lower the score a little bit. Mm-hmm. But overall, this is definitely a game I enjoy playing. I want to keep playing. I hope we can play it with Graham once we get back into our normal setup.
Yes.
I'm going to give this 4 stars out of 5.
Yeah, I'm with you, D. This game's a lot of fun. I think it's a game that works well at 3, and it works well in a different way at 6. And sometimes that's really impressive. It's because it can be disappointing when you get a game that has a certain player range, but it really only works with a certain kind of player count.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not the case here. There's a good amount of strategy for it being a light strategy game. I think that's an apt category for it to fall in. But we also think it's kind of a party game. And I just loved the chaos. Sure, occasionally led to some. I hesitate to call it a runaway leader problem, but it can sometimes feel that way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give this game. You know what? I'm gonna give it an A-.
Wow.
For what it is and what it's trying to be, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
It's a very, very good game.
Cool. That's our review for The Exchange. Thank you for watching this video. We hope you enjoyed it, found it informative and entertaining. If you did,
thumbs up.
Give us a thumbs up. Leave any comments you have. If this looks like something you might enjoy, let us know.
Hit that notification bell.
Sure.
Bing.
And of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet for more videos like this. Well, not exactly like this, but reviews and stuff every week.
Yeah.
Also, our social media is down below: Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you want to follow us on any of those platforms, and I guess come back. Well, I guess it's going to be next week. We don't have a video review in the middle of the week because we don't have gameplay. Yeah. We got something coming out in about a week's time, so keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
We'll be back as always. But until then, thanks for watching. Bye.
See you next time.